guys, how's it going? I don't know why I asked you that question, you can't answer me. I have a funny story for you today, and if you work with me, as in like at my job, you already know this, but I decided that one morning this past week when I was getting ready for the day, I was busy, I had a lot of things in my hand, and I wanted to put on some earrings, so I put the earrings in my back pocket, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just go and I'll do whatever, and once I put this stuff down, I'll pick up the earrings out of my pocket, my back pocket, you know, by my butt, and then I'll put them in my ears, and it'll be cool, it'll be great, it'll be fine, whatever. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. You could probably guess where this story is heading. When I went to go sit down in my car, guess what I did? Yep. It's a good thing that I had a tetanus shot recently because, yeah, that hurt a lot. The funny thing about it though is like as I was putting them in my back pocket, I was thinking to myself, hey, you probably shouldn't put your earrings in your back pocket. I know you're gonna forget them. Oh no, I'm not gonna forget them. It'll be fine. It was not fine. Super not fine. I'm okay now. I'm okay now. My butt's okay. Thanks. I know you're wondering. But yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you about today was backsliding and why we do things that we know we shouldn't do or know that we don't want to do. The easy answer to that, why do you do what you don't want to do, is because you actually do, on some level, want to do it because it serves you somehow. Why did I put the earrings in my back pocket? Oh, because it was easier, it was quicker, I was busy, I was rushing around doing stuff, and, you know, just was fighting against myself because I knew that I was going to forget about it, and I did it anyway, because I was like, whatever, it's fine, it won't matter. It did matter. I know that's a cheesy story, but, you know, this goes for lots of things in your life, for sure. Like, it can be a bunch of stuff. Alcoholism, you know, relationships that you keep getting into, people you keep hanging out with, that keep doing the same thing to you, that keep hurting you, you know, whatever it is. Going back to smoking, going back to doing things that you know you really shouldn't be doing, hanging out with that person that you really shouldn't be hanging out with. And I don't actually like the word shouldn't, but we'll get into that later. Probably not this video, but some other time. So basically, my thoughts on it, again, is that you do actually on some level want to do it because it does serve you somehow. So let's go to that a little deeper. A long time ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, probably about 3 years ago actually, I did this exercise that I had found, and it basically was telling you to make a list of all of the themes kind of running in your childhood, big things that you felt, maybe big events, especially if they were about other people or how other people treated you. For example, my list turned out to be a lot of pain, angry, I wasn't really accepted for who I was. I was always told that I was too sensitive and to get over it and to let it go, and just not healthy, I think. My parents were very angry. They had lots of issues going on. My mother is a severe alcoholic, so it was just kind of like the instability of not feeling safe in the car when she would drive and all that. And I was thinking, you know, that's mostly her issue. I'm gonna be fine. I'm not gonna have to deal with that, right? Wrong. No, I'm not an alcoholic myself, but, you know, the next list that you were supposed to make was take all of your major relationships and make the same list of any big themes, any big events that happened in your relationships, you know, your significant others, for the most part. I mean, I'm sure you could put friendships on there as well, but I chose to do relationships, significant others. And then, once you're done making that list, you're supposed to circle or highlight all of the words that were the same. And it scared me how much they were actually the same, because again, we had pain, not being accepted for who I was, being told that I was too sensitive, being told that I was somehow too much and not enough at the same time, not really feeling loved for who I was, alcoholism, again, not feeling safe in the car, again, and that really was an eye-opener for me. And I was just like, how in the heck do I keep choosing these relationships? How in the heck do I keep picking these people and putting them back in my life when I know that this is an issue for me? I know that this is something that I don't want. I know that this is something that I never ever want in my life ever. Why the heck do I keep attracting this? Why do I keep having this put back into my life? Because I'm thinking I'm doing a great job of pre-screening these people and trying to keep that out of my life. If there's any warning signs, I think I'm paying attention to it and choosing the opposite. Spoiler alert, that was not true at all. In fact, the more I realized, what was going on there, the more I realized that I was actually choosing those people that were showing the warning signs of being either the same or similar. Just because they were different people with different interests and different things that they liked doesn't mean that they didn't do a lot of the same things and didn't, give me a lot of the same feelings, or in this case, negative feelings, not good ones. And I try to figure out, why is this happening? I don't understand. I don't understand why I keep attracting this. What is happening in your brain to attract you to this person, to attract you to this object, to attract you to this addiction, is basically your brain is wired for survival. Literally every part of your brain is wired for survival because, survival of the fittest. If we don't, evolve and pick things that make us safe, we're going to die, literally. And your brain thinks love equals survival, which is true, technically, because love equals a spouse. Love equals children. You kind of have to, and this is not always true, I know this, don't yell at me, whatever, but let's just say for the general part, in order to procreate, you generally have to have love, or at least some version of love, whatever. At least in most relationships. Not all of them, I get that. But for the most part, you're going to be seeking somebody that you think you love, or you think loves you, or can give you what you need. So that is your survival emotionally. And so you're subconsciously chasing after that survival, regardless of if it's true or not. But the part where our brain doesn't necessarily understand is that physical survival is not the same as emotional survival. And if you don't know all of what you're doing, all of what you're wanting, and all of what you're seeking, then you're not gonna really know the effect of what you're actually doing. So basically what's happening is, let's go back to my parents list, right? When you're a child, especially a young child, you depend 100% on your parents or your caregivers or whoever for survival, especially as an infant. You have to get milk, you have to get formula, whatever. You have to get fed, you have to get changed, you have to get bathed. You're not able to do any of those things for yourself. Therefore, babies would die if they're left alone. That's just how, human babies are. We're not like giraffes or deer. We can't just like plop out and then run away. That's just not how humans were built. So basically, as a small child, your brain is learning, oh, I have to give my parents or my caregivers what they want in order to get love. I have to be the reflection of what they want me to be in order to get love. So for me, I was a very sensitive child. I'm a very sensitive adult. It's just, it is what it is. I'm hyper aware of things. I'm very emotionally intelligent. I have a whole lot of feelings. I have a huge heart. It's just who I am. But it was very, very difficult for me as a child because my parents are not nearly as sensitive as I am. And actually, well, maybe they are, and maybe they just have turned it off somehow. But I was never able to turn it off completely. And the one time I tried, I suffered greatly. We'll get into that on another video. So basically, my parents wanted me to be a good student. So I was. I was a teacher's pet. I did all the things in school that teachers wanted me to do. I wanted good grades. I wanted my parents to think that I was great. I loved hearing compliments. I loved, getting affection for them. So basically anything they wanted me to do, I was gonna do it. Oh, Jackie, we need you to clean whatever. I was gonna do it. My mom was very great in the sense that she didn't actually ask for a lot of help from us, which I think she should have. But, basically what I'm trying to say is anything my parents wanted me to do, I did. And my sister, I had, an older sister. She's just under 2 years older than I am. And I wanted her to approve of me. I wanted her to love me. So I did pretty much anything my sister did. Like anywhere she went, I wanted to go. Anything she was doing, I wanted to be doing. Any party she went to, any sleepover, I did the thing. I did all of the things, she went gothic, so I went gothic, all black, whatever, black makeup, lots of bracelets and rings and spiky jewelry and all that jazz. Because I wanted love, and I was going to do whatever it took to get me love. And that translated over to my relationships, because basically my brain had wired me to think that it was not okay to be myself because I was not going to get love for being myself. I wasn't going to get love if I was ever angry, or if I was ever sad, or if I had any emotion whatsoever that was too big or not appropriate for the situation. So I tried to tone that down. I tried to block that out a lot. I tried to basically be the perfect version of myself that I thought would get me love, and that did not work at all. I ended up in a lot of heartbreak, a lot of relationships that truly were not good for me and did not work out, because how can you actually get somebody to love you for all of who you are if you don't show them all of who you are? It's basically like saying, hey, love this person that's on a different planet, do it. What? Like, that just doesn't work. But that's what our brain tells us. So, all right, let's think addictions. That's slightly tilting the gears just a little bit, but similar concept. So there's basically two things that you do when you're having, addictions, or actually unaccepting of your emotions, unaccepting of yourself, period. There's avoidance, or there's numbness. So avoidance would be what I did, which is, well, I'm not going to talk about my feelings, I'm not going to do any of this, I'm just going to launch into all this. So instead of figuring out what's going on, why I'm upset, I'm just going to bypass it all together, and I'm just going to launch myself into work. I'm going to launch myself into class. I'm going to launch myself into this relationship. I'm going to launch myself into whatever it takes to get me love. So that's one, avoidance. Two is numbness. If you can't, and basically why you do the numbness, by the way, is because your reality is too painful to dive into. Like your emotions, your relationships, your kids, whatever, is too much, too big, too hard. You're not getting that support system that you want, so you pop out of it. So, but there comes a time, especially when you have lots of people around you, that you can't avoid it, because the people are there always, especially if you have children and you're a stay-at-home parent, because kids tend to be around a lot. They tend to be like my cats and my dogs. I don't have any kids yet. I used to teach a lot of them, but my cats and my dogs follow me everywhere around the house. I cannot do a single thing by myself. If I'm cooking in the kitchen, they're there. If I'm peeing on the toilet, they're there. If I'm brushing my hair, they're there. Pretty much the only time I can get them to go away is when I sing loudly and badly, and when I turn on the hairdryer. That's a good way to get them away from me. No, I don't ever do that. No, I would never try to make my animals run away. I don't know why you would think that. I'm just kidding. So anyway, avoiding them is next to impossible. So what do? We numb it. Because we can't turn off our emotions ourselves, we look to substances or alcohol or anything, really, that can make us feel physically numb on the inside, or make us feel physically good, like hallucinogens. I don't know, whatever you do, whatever y'all do, whatever. Because you can't avoid it anymore, so instead of feeling all this pain, you just want to launch into, well, I just don't want to feel anything at all. And I know that that seems super great because when you're in a lot of pain, especially like think of it this way, when you're in the hospital, what's your pain scale? 0 to 10. Oh, my pain's a 10 right now. What do? They give you pills, they give you morphine, they give you injections, whatever, to get that pain from a 10 to 0, if possible, to make you numb it. Guess what? Your body, the stuff that's going on in your body doesn't actually go away. That thing causing you pain doesn't actually go away. So they are numbing you to the pain that is going on in your life. And that's what, substances do a lot of the times, is they numb you to that pain because you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to touch it. It's so freaking painful that you can't avoid it. You can't run away. So you're like, well, I'm just going to numb it. But unfortunately, the lie that, substances tell you is that, oh, you don't have to feel it. You can just feel me. But again, that pain is still there. It's still brewing within you. It doesn't go away. And in fact, once you start using substances, especially if you start using, ones that are very physically damaging, like meth, it can be excruciatingly detrimental to your health and excruciatingly detrimental to your relationships. Obviously get arrested, possibly you can ruin your life and, end up in jail or dead or, all kinds of stuff. You'll ruin the relationships around you, and then you're just going to spiral further and further and further and further into this hole that you can never, ever, ever, ever seem to get out of. And that sucks. That sucks. Both avoidance and numbness suck. So what do I do, Jackie? I don't want to backslide anymore. So what do I do? Okay, yeah, great. I made these freaking lists that you told me about, but guess what? I still keep choosing these stupid people. What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong, per se. You're just trying your best that you know how to do. So, if you're trying your best and you're still not getting it right, what does that mean? You need to try something else. You need to learn something else. And I'm here to tell you today that what that something else is listen to your heart. I know that's super cheesy. I know one of these says, today I choose happiness. Follow your heart. It is the only compass you need. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, all of that. Follow your heart is the only compass that you need. I found this at Walmart. Freaking love it. I don't remember how much it cost, but 10 out of 10. Super happy customer. Anyway, follow your heart. It is the only compass you need. Not kidding. And there's other videos on what happens when you follow your heart and you're still having pain. We'll do that a different day. But what I'm saying is dive into those feelings. Ask those feelings basically what they're there to teach you. And the only way that you can get out of your own personal hell is to first see your own personal hell. Make those lists, see what you're doing, and then make a conscious effort to say, okay, here's my list, here's my red flags. How can I see these red flags in my life today? How can I see these red flags in my relationships right now? The more you look at that and the more you analyze your life and see what's going on, the more you're going to realize, oh man, I do actually have a choice here. I didn't realize that I was doing this because it's, subconscious. But make your subconscious conscious. And take that and bring it into your life. Don't try to smother your feelings, scattered, smothered, and covered. Waffle House. Anyway, don't do that. Because covering it up will not make it better. Covering it up will not make it go away. And in fact, it's probably going to make it worse in the long run. I know it's super painful. I know it super sucks to dive into your feelings. But guess what? You're not alone and you're worth it. I'm going to tell you this again. You're not alone and you're worth it. This is not forever. I know it feels like forever, but there is some things that you can do. There is lots of things that you can do. And if you don't know how, super fine. I didn't either. I found a counselor that was great for me, and I found some videos online, and I found some books that changed my life. So take the steps. Do what works for you. What actually works, not just, avoiding and resisting higher feelings. Dive into your feelings. You're worth it. I love you. You can do this. Don't give up. Bye.